Hello, Catherine Foley here again, and I'm going to read from my book Beyond the Breakwater, which was published 2 years ago by Mercier Press. Today I'm doing chapter 12 called Nuns. Nuns populated my early school days in Waterford City. During my time living on Lower Newtown, I attended St John of God National School. Lay teachers were few and far between, but nuns swept by me every day. They were ever present in that pale speckle-tiled primary school of the mid-1960s, rustling at the top of the classroom in front of the blackboard, swirling around like great battleships ready to swoop down. They walked in black habits along cool corridors, beads and keys rattling and slapping against each other. They were always busy, regal, elegantly bustling. We pulled back out of their way, fearfully, instinctively, the polished, especially half-inch thick stick or botha was never too far from our minds. Nuns all smelled the same. When a nun in her gabardine rigging came up close in a classroom, the smell of the cloth, imbued with a rich mix of soap, starch, sweat, camphor balls, polish, incense, and old refectory aromas, was overpowering. But a nun rarely came too near, except on occasion, in class when she might show you how to write an R or a Q. Then this personage would squeeze into the desk beside you and, taking your pen, demonstrate in best copperplate how to achieve the great curved letters. The pungent odour of that cloaked body, mingling perhaps with a bouquet of fumes from her hidden undergarments, could enclose and momentarily suffocate you. It could leave you dumbfounded, unable to answer even the simplest question. "How do you spell this, Catherine?" she might ask in crystal clear, rurally accented syllables. Or, "Isn't that right, Catherine?" And the class would wait, while I, sitting in mystification, the colour rising up my cheeks, could only mumble, "Yes, sister," smile and wait until she'd moved away. To be so near this musty-scented nun, who could wield a disciplinary thwack with great vigour, or wedge a pointed finger in between your shoulder blades, or firmly catch hold of your arm and propel you vigorously into a classroom, was more potent than the smell of chocolate or even cod liver oil. Seeing a nun up close was a truly fascinating and horrifying moment. With no hair visible except for an occasional facial sprout, the pasty-toned skin was a lunar landscape of mystery to us pupils. And I remember their complex, unreadable expressions, hinting at the private world they inhabited, where women watched and counted, coveted and conspired, prayed and purloined to attain holiness and sanctity. They were worlds away, cloistered from the play areas where we skipped and ran. On our rare visits to the convent, we were provided with a chance to peep into their world of polished surfaces, where reverberating bells and rushing skirts, stony-faced statues and hollow, scarifying whispers occupied wide corridors and stairways. The sound of their beads striking their keys made little irregular clicks that sounded like beetles when they moved. In class, we pasted pictures of leaves, trees, doors, cows and thrushes into our copybooks. Using fat brushes dipped into jam jars, we painted globs of gloopy paste onto stiff paper. As I progressed through school, we learned to knit socks and gloves, to embroider table mats and cushion covers, and to sew hems and buttonholes, collars and pockets. We learned about Fionn McCool and the Tuatha De Danann, about the Bronze Age and the Iron Age, and about the rivers, mountains and towns of Ireland. We learned to walk in a procession and to file quietly into the assembly hall. We learned to pray and to rise or sit at our desks at the barest nod or look of command. We were told by the nuns how to sit, how to walk into a room, how to stand. Years later, when I was in boarding school, I remember one day how each of us shivered when word went round that a nun had died. She was to be waked in the convent that night. The thought of her lying on a table, icy cold to the touch, was palpable. Her ghostly presence fell on darkened cubicles like the shadow of a great bird of prey. We imagined her lying in the convent chapel, her body prostrate, rosary beads entwined around her fingers, her yellow skin sleek and shiny in death. She had us cowering in dimly lit stairwells, terrified we'd see her face in front of us. All through school, nuns remained a source of mystery and ridicule, reverence and revulsion. They were curiosities, not women, not mothers, not aunts, but strange, mysterious, medieval beings that were never seen to bathe or undress or shake out their hair. In ages past, they'd been walled up in towers or convents, never to emerge. Were these teaching nuns an offshoot, an aberration that strode into our classrooms to direct our eyes? Today, I wonder about nuns and how they were once omnipresent in our lives. I wonder where they have all gone and if they were just misunderstood. Might they actually have been benign, kind beings, or were they really scary? So talk to you tomorrow. Thanks very much. Bye.